Hi folks, I am Chef Jill Holland with Catering for Good and a Spoonful of Hope, a product of Second Harvest Food Bank of Central Florida. Welcome to our online multi-day Taste of Central Florida. Just to give you some history and background, Taste Central Florida has been working to combat childhood hunger in our community for over 30 years. In a typical year, 1 in 4 children in Central Florida are considered food insecure. Due to the pandemic, the statistic is even worse. It is 1 in 3 children in Central Florida. So we are bringing you this online event. We are able to, typically in a year, we have it at the hotel and everybody gets together and we have so much fun. This year, learn our recipes. It's going to be a great time anyway. So tonight I am going to make for you my family favorite corn fritters. We absolutely love this dish in my family. So I'm going to start with 4 egg yolks. And to that, I am going to add 1.5 cups of milk and 3 tablespoons of oil. You want a neutral flavored oil, something like avocado oil or just vegetable oil is fine. And we are going to mix that up. Just break up those egg yolks. And mix away. So I have my fryer here next to me. It is at 350 degrees. So do be really careful. That's hot. All right, so that's all mixed up. To this, or in a separate bowl, we're going to add 3 cups of flour and baking powder, not baking soda, and some salt. I like kosher salt, but if you use iodized, that's okay too. And we're gonna mix that together, and then we're gonna add it to our egg mixture. We're gonna add that just a little bit at a time, kind of in sections. So I'm gonna do about half of it. Just kind of mix that together. I'm going to use my whisk because that's going to be a whole lot easier to bring that together. So one of the great things about this recipe that holds a lot of memories for me was I come from a big family. I'm one of 5 kids, and my dad used to make these all the time for us, and he would just make them as fast as he possibly could, and we would eat them a little bit faster than he could possibly make them. He had a hard time keeping up with our appetites. So I'm going to add the rest of that flour in. That off. Mix that together. Whoop. So be sure during this event to visit our website at tastecfl.org and join in all of the fun of our online taste event. So, of course, I gotta bang, get all that batter out of the whisk. It's one of the bad parts of using a whisk. All right, and I have some whipped egg whites here. I'm gonna take a little less than half of those to start with because the batter is so dense, we want to lighten it. So I'm gonna fold those egg whites in so that the bubbles from the egg whites just lighten up that batter. So you end up with a really super light and fluffy end product. All right, and then I'm gonna add the rest of the egg whites in. Same technique, that folding technique. Okay, you don't wanna stir because that's gonna break down your egg whites too much and you're not gonna get that fluffiness that you need in our corn fritters. All right, so we've got those all mixed in, and it's okay if they are not 100% mixed in because we're gonna add our corn now, and that's gonna help mix just a little bit more. So I have here, you can use fresh corn, you can use frozen corn, you can use canned corn. If you use canned corn, make sure you drain it really, really well. And you're just gonna fold that in also. And again, you don't wanna overmix this because you don't want to beat down those egg whites. You can already see how fluffy that is. Perfect. All right. So now we are going to go over to our fryer. And for that, for the end product, I've got a sheet pan with a baking rack on it. And that's going to help us drain our final product. And you're just gonna take a heaping scoop. You can make these kind of small, these are smaller right now, kind of appetizer size or so. And those little bits that are floating around in the fryer, those are the best. My family always called those the snivelies. And that's what the cook gets to eat. So those are gonna come up. Don't overcrowd your fryer because you don't want the oil to cool down too much. So you're gonna let those kind of float around and get nice and golden brown. And it's gonna take about 2-3 minutes or so. And you saw how they puffed up there. They get so puffy and delicious. They're gonna be great. So we're just gonna let those fry up. This was one of the first dishes that I made for my husband when we were first married. That was long before I was a chef, long before I even thought of being a chef. And it was an absolute epic fail on my part because I didn't have a fryer at the time. And I borrowed my mother's fryer. And I didn't think, it didn't even occur to me to change out the shortening that she lent to me in the fryer. And the shortening had probably been in there for a good 5 or 6 years at least, and it was completely rancid. Needless to say, we ate pizza that night. So these are getting nice and golden brown. But since then, I have bought new frying oil and converted my husband into a corn fritter lover. These are getting nice and golden. So Catering for Good and A Spoonful of Hope, we have done the Taste of Central Florida event for the last 7 years, I believe, at least. So that is exciting. We are missing everybody in person this year, but I know everybody is going to have a great time with all of these recipes online. Give us your feedback. Let us know how you liked them. And I've kind of been flipping these over, but you want to kind of let them sit and do their thing so that they cook all the way through nice and even. And they're going to get super golden brown and delicious. Okay, there they go. Sometimes when you're new at making these, you want to just do maybe 1 or 2 in the first batch to just test the temperature of your oil and test your timing so that you know that they are cooking all the way through. I'm going to take out some of these little snivelies, put those on our rack, or through our rack as the case may be. You can always line paper towels or newspaper underneath the baking rack. That's going to wick away some of the oil as the snivelies lay, so they're not laying in a pool of oil. All right, these are looking absolutely beautiful. So we're gonna pull those out. And the beauty of corn fritters is that they're always misshapen. See, that one's got a tail. Some of them are nice and blobby. All right. So I'm going to put this back here, bring up our plate. And you don't want to miss out on the Honey for Good. I'm using the palmetto today, but these are also really good topped with the orange blossom or the wildflower honey. We're going to top these with some powdered sugar. Just a little bit, right? Delicious. So kind of similar to a beignet in this aspect. And then we're going to drizzle some of that honey on there. Delicious. We also used to do maple syrup on ours, which was all kinds of fantastic. So thank you so much for joining us here for Taste Central Florida. Don't forget to visit tastecfl.org and have lots of fun at our online virtual event. I'm gonna try one of these now. They're really hot, so be careful when they're straight out of the fryer like this. Yikes. All right, bye guys. Love you, miss you. Be safe, be healthy. Wash your hands.